A failing strut mount is one of those car issues that quietly develops over time, often without drivers realizing how much it affects the overall performance and safety of their vehicle. Even though the strut mount is small compared to other suspension parts, it plays several critical roles. It holds the strut in place, absorbs road vibrations, helps maintain proper suspension alignment, and in many vehicles, contains a bearing that allows the strut to rotate smoothly for steering. When it begins to wear out, the signs may not be dramatic at first, but they grow progressively worse. What starts as a minor noise or subtle vibration can eventually turn into uncontrollable handling, uneven tire wear, steering issues, and even damage to other suspension components. The first symptom most drivers notice is unusual, clunking, knocking, or thudding noises when driving over bumps or rough pavement. These noises are often the earliest and clearest warnings that the strut mount is beginning to fail. The mount contains a layer of rubber designed to dampen vibrations and cushion impacts, but as it ages, that rubber can crack, compress, or completely deteriorate. When this happens, the strut is no longer held firmly in place and begins to move excessively within the mount. This slight but constant movement leads to metal components tapping or banging against each other anytime the suspension compresses. Over time, these noises become louder, more frequent, and more noticeable, even at low speeds or on mild road imperfections. Some drivers initially mistake the noise for loose cargo in the trunk, worn sway bar links, or even bad ball joints, but a failing strut mount is often the true source. As the mount continues to break down, the strut can shift enough to create more consistent knocking, and if ignored long enough, it may even damage the strut housing or strut tower. Repairs that are far more costly than replacing the mount itself. What seems like a small noise can quickly become a major problem if not addressed promptly. Another important symptom is changes in steering feel, specifically stiffness, roughness, binding, or vibration when turning the wheel. On many vehicles, especially those with McPherson strut front suspensions, the strut mount contains a bearing that allows the strut to rotate smoothly when you steer. When that bearing begins to wear out or loses lubrication, steering can feel uneven or choppy. You may notice the wheel feels harder to turn, or it may feel like it catches or resists at certain points. In some cases, you may hear a grinding or creaking noise during slow turns, such as when pulling into a parking space or making a tight U-turn. As the bearing deteriorates further, it can cause the steering wheel to vibrate or shake, even while driving in a straight line. This affects not just comfort, but safety, because precise steering is essential for maintaining control of the vehicle. A worn strut mount forces other steering components to compensate for the lost smoothness, which can create premature wear in the steering rack or tie rods. If you've noticed your steering feels heavier, inconsistent, or less responsive than normal, the strut mount may be the hidden cause, and allowing the problem to continue could lead to significant suspension damage. Uneven or accelerated tire wear is another major indicator of a failing strut mount, and it often goes unnoticed until visible tire damage has already occurred. A good strut mount keeps the strut in its correct position, maintaining proper suspension geometry. When the mount wears down, the strut can tilt or shift slightly, which impacts alignment angles such as camber and caster. Even a small misalignment can cause one side of the tire to wear faster than the other. Drivers may begin to notice feathering, cupping, or smooth patches along the tire edge. If the mount is severely worn, the steering alignment may shift enough for the car to pull to one side. Uneven tire wear not only shortens the lifespan of the tire, but also compromises traction, particularly in wet conditions. Reduced traction means longer stopping distances and less control during sudden maneuvers. Many drivers only find out something is wrong when a mechanic points out the tire wear pattern during rotation or inspection. By the time the damage is visible, the tires may already need replacement. Replacing a strut mount early can prevent hundreds of dollars worth of premature tire wear, and it helps maintain proper suspension balance and steering accuracy. Another sign that becomes more noticeable as the mount deteriorates is increased cabin vibration or an overall harsher ride quality. The strut mount acts as a buffer between the road and the vehicle's body. When the rubber portion breaks down, it loses the ability to absorb vibrations generated from normal road textures. Suddenly, small cracks, seams, or imperfections in the pavement begin to feel sharper and more pronounced inside the vehicle. You may hear additional rattles coming from the dashboard, doors, or center console because the increased vibration affects the entire interior structure. Over time, these vibrations can loosen interior panels and fasteners, creating more noise and wear. If the vehicle feels significantly rougher than it did a few months ago, even if the shocks or struts themselves are still in good shape, the strut mounts may be to blame. The worsening ride quality affects comfort, but it also impacts safety. A suspension system that can't absorb impacts properly is less effective at maintaining consistent tire contact with the road, especially during fast driving or emergency maneuvers. The longer the problem continues, the more stress it places on other suspension components, such as springs, sway bar links, and control arm bushings, accelerating their wear as well. The final major symptom of a bad strut mount is unstable or unpredictable handling, particularly during cornering, braking, or lane changes. Because the strut mount supports the upper part of the suspension, any looseness or deterioration affects the entire system's stability. A weakened mount allows the strut to shift, which changes how weight transfers across the vehicle. You might notice the car leaning more during turns, feeling less planted on the road, or drifting slightly when driving straight. Hard braking may cause excessive nosedive, or you may feel the vehicle pulling to one side. As the instability increases, driving at higher speeds becomes more nerve-wracking because the steering response becomes inconsistent and the suspension struggles to maintain balance. In severe cases, the shifting strut can place stress on the strut tower itself, causing structural wear or deformation. If you're experiencing any form of unstable handling, especially if it's new or gradually worsening, it's critical to check the condition of the strut mounts. Proper handling isn't just about a smooth ride, it's about maintaining control of the vehicle in everyday driving and emergency situations. Because the strut mount is so deeply connected to the steering, alignment, vibration control, and overall stability of the vehicle, fixing it early is essential. While the mount is not typically expensive, the labor required to remove the strut assembly means many technicians recommend replacing the struts and mounts together. Doing so saves labor costs and ensures the entire suspension system is refreshed and operating at its full potential. Ignoring a failing mount will only lead to more severe issues, such as damaged struts, alignment problems, uneven tire wear, noisy suspension, and reduced safety. If you're experiencing clunking sounds, stiff steering, unusual tire wear patterns, increased cabin vibration, or unstable handling, it's important to have your suspension inspected as soon as possible. Addressing symptoms early will keep your vehicle safe, smooth, and reliable, and help prevent a minor strut mount issue from becoming a major and expensive repair.